everyone. From last classes we have started a revision of sound chapter. Today again we will see few topics of sound chapter as a revision. So we have seen, in the last class we have seen the types of sound waves, the types of waves, how many kinds of waves are there, that we have seen longitudinal and transverse wave, their definition. Now today I will start a new topic of your book of sound chapter, that is sound as a longitudinal wave. So why sound is considered as a longitudinal wave, we will see. Okay, you have seen in last class that sound need material medium for the propagation. Sound always move in the material medium. If there is no medium, sound will not travel. Sound will not travel without medium. Okay, so sound will travel in air, it will travel in solid, in liquid, in gases. Everywhere it will travel except vacuum. Okay, what is vacuum? Vacuum is a place where no air is present, no medium is present. Okay, so we will see sound as a longitudinal wave. Why sound is considered as a longitudinal wave? Okay, so sound, when sound wave travel through a medium, a series of compression and rarefaction is formed between the particles of the medium due to the vibration of these particles in the direction parallel to the direction in which sound travel. This shows the sound waves are longitudinal in nature. What was the definition of longitudinal wave? When the particles of medium vibrate to and fro about their mean position in the direction of propagation of wave, then that kind of wave is known as longitudinal wave. So we will see first what is compression and what is rarefaction. Okay, so compression is a region where particle of medium come near to each other. Like if this is a medium, like in this box air is filled. This all are air particles. This you can make like this. This all are particle of medium. Now, when we will keep one source of sound here. When source of sound start producing sound, first of all it will move outward, because we know that every vibrating body produces sound. How it will vibrate? It will vibrate to and fro. So first of all it will move outward and it will apply pressure on the particles which are near to the source of sound. If it will apply pressure on this particles, what will happen? This particle will shift this side and hence they will create space. Okay, they will create space, empty space here, and all the particles will shift here. Means here the gap between particles will decrease. Again the energy will transfer here and here the empty space will be created. So this empty space is known as rarefaction, and this space where more particles will come near to each other is known as compression. Okay, so you will say in one line definition, you will say when in doing vibration, okay, you will see when a vibrating body move outward, okay, it increases the pressure on molecules of the medium surrounding it. For example, air and causes them to come close to, for example, you can say air and causes them to come close to each other. This is known as compression. See, when this speaker will start vibrating, it will produce sound, and then you can see speaker is vibrating when it is producing a loud sound. So it will apply pressure on the molecules. So molecules will move far away. Okay, they will spread out and they will create empty space. This empty space is known as rarefaction, and the molecules which are creating empty space, they will shift in front, and here in this region more molecules will come near to each other, and therefore this dense region is known as compression. Okay, so compression and rarefactions are two regions where the less molecules are there, where the molecules is spread out is known as rarefaction, and when molecules come close to each other, that region is known as compression. Okay, so when sound travel in the medium, it creates compression and rarefaction in the medium. Okay, compression, a series of compression and rarefaction it causes, and because of this we can say sound is a traveling as a longitudinal wave. Okay, now the next topic is sound requires medium to travel. So we all know that sound requires medium to travel. In vacuum, sound cannot travel. So one example is given, that is bell jar, one activity. In your book, one activity is given at page number 78, that is activity number 3, and this activity shows that sound cannot travel through the vacuum. So in this activity, one bell jar is taken. Bell jar is made by a glass. This is a glass jar, and in the jar they have fixed one alarm clock. This is the two terminals of alarm clock, and in these terminals they have added one switch, like this one switch they have added, and one battery they have added. Okay, after that you can see when you will switch it on, like this switch you will on. Okay, you will switch it on, then what will happen? Electricity will flow in the alarm clock, and alarm clock will ring, so that you can listen the clear voice of alarm clock. Why? Because inside the jar also material medium is there, that is air. Outside this jar is also made by glass, that is also a medium. So you can hear the clear voice which is coming out from the bell jar. Okay, now make here one hole and apply a vacuum pump here. See, with this pipe you apply vacuum pump here. What is the working of vacuum pump? With the help of vacuum pump we can create vacuum inside the jar. Okay, when you will use this vacuum pump to remove air from inside the jar. So first of all, slowly you will remove the air from inside the jar. So what you will listen? Slowly the voice, the sound which is coming from the alarm clock will decrease. Okay, that's the intensity of sound from which is coming from the alarm clock will decrease when you will remove air slowly. Now one time will come when you will not hear any kind of sound which is coming out from the jar. Why? Because at that time the vacuum is created inside the jar, any medium is not there, so sound will not come out from the jar. So this activity proves that sound cannot travel in the vacuum, it needs material medium for the propagation. Understood? So this is activity number 3. In examination, if we will ask about this activity, you can write in your own words. Okay? Now, the next topic of this chapter is characteristics of sound. That we will see. Characteristics of sound. So, first characteristic of sound is given frequency. What do you understand by frequency? Okay, frequency we can represent by small f or small n. The definition of frequency is the number of vibration or cycle completed in 1 second is known as frequency. Okay, the number of vibrations or cycle completed in 1 second is known as frequency. Like in this sound wave, this is compression, rarefaction, again compression, rarefaction, again compression, rarefaction, and this is 1 second. So you can see here in 1 second how many vibration. What is vibration? To and fro motion of a particle about its mean position is known as vibration. So here how many vibration is completed? 1, 2 and 3. 3 vibrations are completed in 1 second. Therefore, frequency of this sound wave will be 3 Hertz. Now what is this Hertz? Hertz, H-E-R-T-Z is SI unit, is unit to represent frequency. This is a unit to represent frequency. Understood frequency? So, unit of frequency is Hertz and the number of vibrations or cycle completed in 1 second is known as frequency. So, this is the first characteristic of sound which is given in your book. Now, we will see about the time period of sound. So, the second one is time period. Now, what is time period? So, the time taken to complete one vibration is known as time period. Time taken to complete one vibration or one cycle is known as time period. Now, if this kind of wave is given, one cycle, 2 cycle in 1 second. So, this wave is completing 2 cycle in 1 second means its frequency is 2 Hertz. What will be its time period? So, time period is equal to 1 upon F. This is the formula. Relationship between time period and frequency. Time period is equal to 1 upon F. If you know frequency, you can calculate time period. So, here frequency is equal to 2 Hertz. So, time period will be equal to 1 upon 2 second. Now, what is the second? Second is a SI unit of time period. Because time period is also a time and we know that SI unit of time is always second. So, SI unit of time is second. So, 1 upon 2 second, which means that 0.5 second is the time period of this given wave. Understood what is time period? So, time period we can represent by capital T. Its SI unit is second and time period is time taken to complete one vibration or one cycle is known as time period. Okay, so here we have completed time period. Now, the next one is, next characteristic of sound is given amplitude. What is amplitude? We will see. Amplitude, we represent amplitude by capital A or small a. Okay, now what is amplitude? So the maximum displacement of particle from its mean position either of its one side is known as its amplitude. Like when this particle vibrates, how it vibrates? It moves to and it moves slow about its mean position. So the maximum displacement of particle either of its one side is known as amplitude. Okay, and here you can see that amplitude is a distance. Is it a distance? So SI unit of amplitude is meter. SI unit of amplitude is meter. Okay, we represent amplitude by capital A or small a. In wave, how you will represent amplitude? See, this is a wave. One cycle, 2 cycle. So this is the maximum displacement of wave from its mean position. So this is amplitude. And here also you can represent the maximum displacement. This is also amplitude. So amplitude is a maximum displacement of particle from its mean position either of its one side is known as the amplitude of particle or amplitude of a sound wave. Okay, now the next characteristic of sound is loudness. What is the loudness of sound? Loudness is also a characteristic of sound only. So we will see about loudness. Loudness or intensity of sound. So loudness is a characteristic of sound which distinguish between loud sound and feeble sound. What is feeble sound? Feeble sound is less loud sound. Okay, so it is a characteristic of sound which distinguishes loud sound from feeble sound. Now, loudness of sound is directly proportional to the amplitude of sound. More the amplitude, more will be loudness. Less the amplitude, less will be loudness. Okay, so if question will come how loudness of sound depends on amplitude, so you will write more the amplitude, more will be the loudness, and less the amplitude, less will be the loudness of sound. Okay, next thing on which loudness of sound depend is the distance between the source of sound and the listener. If distance is more, loudness will be less. If distance is less, loudness will be more. Next thing, it depends on the surface area of the vibrating body. Like you have two drums, one is small and one is big drum, which will produce more sound, more loud sound. So big drum will produce more loud sound. And the next factors are given in your book. Some other factors on which loudness of sound depends are the atmospheric temperature, pressure, velocity of wind, and the amount of moisture present in the air. So loudness depends upon these all factors. Okay, so today we will end up our class here only. From the next class we will start reflection of sound. Thank you all for today's class. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.